Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tea Time Tuesdays. Excited to be here with all of you as you're coming on today. Please remember to like and share this broadcast. And remember, if you can watch us over on YouTube as well. I'm just excited to be here with all of our Tea Time community. Remember to have your Tea Time journal. We're just ready to go into our evening session of Tea Time. For all those who join us on the evening, welcome to Tea Time. And all our first time viewers, we would like to do a special welcome to you as well and tell you welcome to Tea Time in our Tea Time community, where we pause, reset, and build resilience. That's what Tea Time is all about. And so I'm just glad to be here and glad to share with all of you. this evening on our evening tea time. And as you all know, please make sure to like and share. And we're going to share a few of our awareness this month that we have for tea time this month. And so this is National Mentoring Month, all right? And so the month of January has been, it's been designated as National Mentoring Month to celebrate the contributions of our mentors and make the people that make to the people in their lives, make a good effect on the people in their lives. So this is a National Mentoring Month. And I'm on here live with Patrick Brown, who is my mentor. And I just want to say that I'm thankful for his mentorship and his leadership and all the areas that he has helped me to grow and develop. So I just want to say, and just take time out just to thank your mentor. It's a thank you, even for those who mentored even in the past. It's good to recognize people and let them know that you appreciate who they
Yes, it is.
are and what they do in your lives. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes,
All right,
yes.
so moving right along, January is Mental Wellness Month, right? And so this is a time to recognize the importance of attending to our mental health, especially seeing the vast prevalence of mental health issues and disorders that exist in our world today. So this is Mental Wellness Month with Mental Wellness Awareness Month. I got a little
Yeah.
tongue tied there. So
Oh, you
that's what
good.
we're observing here at the Renewal Center is this time of our observance. So we had mental wellness awareness and we have our mentoring of the month. And so now let's go to our tea of the week. What are you guys having out there? Our tea of the week is the Kenyan black tea. And anybody who loves black tea, I love black tea. I tell you, this is a great tea. I've had the opportunity of having it several times. My first time was actually in the country, but this is really a great tea. If you've had the Kenyan tea, just let us know. It basically features a large golden dipped tea leaves, right? And they're brewed in a soft, mellow cup. Okay, they're brewed in a soft, mellow cup. It gives like a hint of a smell of like kind of like I would say kind of like grass a little bit, but it
Mm.
has the citrus notes, especially. It's sweet and pleasant. So you can order this online as well. This is a great tea, a great black tea. So what is your tea of choice out there? What are you guys having this evening? Are you having tea, water? Go ahead and share with us, Tea Time community, what you're having. Please remember to like and share this broadcast as well. And I would like to thank Nicole Pennell. I would like to thank her because she had suggested to me a tea, and inboxed me, and she knows I love Earl Grey because it said a lot. And this is an aged Earl Grey tea, and the bergamot in this tea is very strong and robust. And I really like the robust flavor of Earl Grey tea. But this particular brand that I just received actually yesterday is absolutely delicious. So my tea of choice is this Earl Grey tea that has a more
Mhm.
robust, bold flavor. What are you having today, Patrick?
I have an orange turmeric. So it's a
Okay.
mixture of orange and turmeric tea with a little ginger in it.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right, that sounds really good. I know that you like ginger, so that sounds like
Yes,
right up your alley. So yeah,
yes,
so we
yes.
just want to just everybody just come on and chime in if you're there with us. If you're coming on again a little late, welcome to Tea Time Tuesdays. This is a wonderful time. Good evening there to our director of community programming, Carmela. Good evening. Good to see you on. Good. Hey there,
Hey,
Charlisa. Good evening to you, one of our tea timers. Glad to see that you're on this evening. All right. So again, please remember to like and share. So we all know that what we do at tea time is we have a moment where we pause. And this is the moment where we pause. For those who are new to tea time, is where we locate ourselves. This is a time where we pause and just take a moment to kind of center ourselves, allow our thoughts to balance out, allow
Yeah.
ourselves to relax our shoulders and our fingers, and just take a moment to kind of breathe in and out and just take that time to pause. So we're going to go ahead, tea time. If you're ready for the locate yourself, we're going to go ahead and take a moment to locate ourselves.
Right.
All right. Isn't that wonderful, Patrick, that we had a moment to just kind of pause and just sit and just be able to locate ourselves? This is just
Yeah.
absolutely great. Just a time to pause and just take the time to breathe and just take in the air and just take in what's going on around us and allowing our thoughts to calm. So we're going to go ahead and go into our tea time. I hope you guys have your tea time journal. Hope you have your pen and your pad, and we have our dedicated tea time. So I hope you guys, this is 2024, have a new or continued a journal that you set aside as we share the tea time principles, practices that we share. So go ahead and turn it over to you, Patrick. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Hope. Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to Tea Time Tuesday. Thank you for centering yourself in our Locate Yourself exercise. And again, we know Tea Time is about pausing, about resetting, and about building our resilience. And you know what? We build it through our community with connecting. And Hope, again, thank you so much. And also thank you for the honor of the mentoring statement. Thank you. I'm glad that there's been some things that I've been able to add value to you, as well. Of course, you've added so much value to my life, and I'm grateful to work with you here at the Renewal Center. So this is just a wonderful time to share and show appreciation as well. So I just want to thank you, as well as for those that you mentor as well, people that you've poured into, that you're helping grow and develop. And so again, someone, if you can, call somebody that's mentoring you or has mentored you, express appreciation for the learning, for the mentorship relationship and how important that is to your life. And also just for those that have helped you along the way, things you've learned from others, how you've grown and expanded. So I just want to welcome all of our tea timers. I think I saw Carmela out there, Charlisa, and there's Monique out there. There's a Michelle as well that we see. Michelle, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on this evening. Good to have all of you. And again, go ahead and grab your tea. Make sure you have your journal, as Hope shared. And so as we're wrapping up our fourth installment of Tea Time, we normally have that at 7 p.m. when it's the fourth one. And today, I started out the first of the year talking about seasons and how to transition during different seasons. And so it's so important that you know which season you're in life. Sometimes you're in winter seasons, other times where you're in fall seasons and spring and summer. And we talked about that. And we did some renewal practices surrounding the different seasons that we have in life and how there are different times that we experience specific things in different seasons. And so today, I'd like to also emphasize something about how we're mentally agile. So today I want to talk about how to really improve our mental agility, improving our mental agility. Please excuse my voice a little bit. I was in Northern Ohio. Now I'm back down south. So excuse me if I sound a little cloggy here. So I'll apologize if not coming out clearly tonight. But I wanted to talk today and do some renewal practices around mental agility. But before I get started in that, I'd like to ask a question to you tea timers, how important is mental agility? I'm going to ask that. And then also, what is mental agility? When you think about the word mental agility, what comes to mind? I want to start there first. And then once we kind of describe it and define what it is, then I want you to answer, how is that important in your life? Mental agility. So go ahead and write that down, mental agility, in your journals there. And we're going to do a renewal practice today. I'm going to give you some principles on how to develop that and how to expand that. So hope, what thoughts come to mind when you think about mental agility, or what is mental agility to you, and how is that important perhaps in your life?
Well, mental agility is important because for me, it's needed in every area of my life. Because whether it's work, whether it's, whatever role or function I'm in, it's important to be able to embrace that and have that to be able to navigate through life's journey and life situations and circumstances that we face.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else out there, our tea timers, please share with us, what is your definition, or how do you describe mental agility and its importance in your life? I want to hear from you. And I wanted to start off our tea time tonight with this emphasis about the importance of understanding mental agility. So I might do a little coaching this evening, and we'll do it in that kind of format as we go through our renewal practice. I want to just do a more interactive session. So if you're out there, please feel free to share in the comments, and again, tag and share with your friends about mental agility and how to develop it. Please feel free to put it in the comments. I'm going to give you a standing definition of mental agility, and then we're going to work on the renewal practice. All right. So here it is. Mental agility is the ability to view situations, absorb information, connect the dots between ideas, and use all the information you've assimilated to respond to changes around you in new and innovative ways. All right. Charlize says here, the ability to transition through changes. Thank you for sharing that. And again, mental agility is the ability to view situations, absorb information, connect the dots, and use all the information you've assimilated to respond to changes around you in new and innovative ways. So I want to start there about how we view situations as our first, I would say, aspect of mental agility is viewing situations, how we're viewing things. When you and I are experiencing life in general, whether it's professional or personal, many times mental agility gives you the capacity. How do you actually view the situation you're experiencing? So it starts off with your perspective, or it starts off with perception. And I'd like to ask you also, those of you that are out there, why does this relate to you? So Michelle says here, like 90% of how you deal with things. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Mental agility, how we perceive, how do we deal with things? How do we interact? Absolutely. And so I wanted to start out with this focus on viewing situations. How are we viewing situations, and the importance of how we view that and what we do with what we view, how we absorb the information that we're receiving, how we're connecting the dots with particular
Yeah.
ideas. All of that is considered mental agility. So Hope, as you're thinking about this, that first part of this, when we talk about viewing situations and absorbing information, what comes to mind with you as it relates to mental agility in the area of viewing situations and then absorbing information?
Well, viewing situations for me, what comes to mind is my perspective and
Hmm.
what lens am I gauging things out of. And so that's important because everybody may have a different view of different situations. So personally, it's just about the given perspective that I may have, in the way that I'm able to navigate through the perspectives that I have, to make sure that they're healthy and good perspectives as well. So it's just kind of like how you view things. It's how you see things from the lens that you're able to see through. So. Mhm.
Mm, thank you for sharing that. Yes, how we view. And many times our perception can become the basis for reception. How we perceive is the basis for how we receive different experiences in life, different circumstances in life. And so it's important that we understand how do we actually view something is critical to understanding mental agility. And so I want to go through just a process of how we develop a stronger, mentally agile life. All right. The importance of having that, because this is not something that you just, you apply for a role or you have a job or you have a particular situation you're experiencing and you just need one skill set, just a few skill sets. Mental agility helps you navigate various circumstances because it is about also how we absorb the information we receive. How do we absorb it? It's the ability of absorbing that. It's about connecting dots between ideas with this, which is synthesis, and how to use that information properly and then respond to the changes that's around us. But also we respond in a new and innovative ways, Why do you think out there, our tea timers, tell us a little bit about, just in the comments, why it's important to learn how to navigate the new, or even navigate in a new way. So navigating the new, but also you personally navigating in a new way. Hope you have any thoughts on that as far as just your experiences perhaps in your profession, how important it is to be able to respond to the new, but also respond in a new way. So we got two things going on. We got a new thing that's happening. I got to respond to that. Then I'm responding in a new and innovative way that I haven't responded with before. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, so my thoughts on that is just the perspective of how I'm viewing things. Again, it goes back to perspective. If I'm in a new role or new situation, what have you, I have to be open to first embrace the new. So I have to be open to allow myself to experience different things,
Mm-hmm.
and allow myself to move or tread beyond familiarity of things that I'm comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Embracing the new is something that you've never experienced before. So I have to be willing to be open and have a focus to be able to experience new things. As far as an advancement. Now, when I'm in the new role, how I is important. So just the things that I need to do, reaching out, and to different, depending on what it is. I'll just use a job for an example. Seeing how I can enhance and adjust to my to the new role that I'm in life. Maybe taking some notes, maybe journaling, and see the adjustments that's needed and that's necessary because I've never experienced this before. So I have to be open to adjusting and shifting. Even in adjusting and shifting, it's my viewpoint of how I see things. Some things may change. If it's innovative and it's new, that means it won't feel like the old place. So when I'm going into a new place, I have to be open for the different experiences and the stretching that may take place during that time.
That's good. Would you say that it is a non-negotiable skill? Like, do you think that's something, when you think about people that you work with, do you
Mm.
think that having mental agility is like a non-negotiable skill, that we really need to have this now?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I feel that it's needed because it plays a major part in your response mechanisms. It plays a major part in adjusting to new roles and positions, and
Mm,
how we focus and how we have perspective and how we have what I will call a laser view of what is taking place. So I would say
mhm.
that it is important to have it, because it aids in helping to adjust to different circumstances and situations that may
Yeah.
occur or may take place during the time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Let's go to a few comments here that we got coming in. Rashada says here, overcoming a fixed mindset, open-minded, and growth mindset. So that's her definition of mental agility. Thank you so much. Michelle Burton says things unknown. Okay, yes, we're navigating things and places that are unknown. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I want to hone in on the four stages I want to share today. And again, thank you, Hope, for your feedback and insight into that. Because again, we're talking about a renewal practice of mental agility, how we're viewing situations. So let's walk through these four areas. Number one, let's The first stage is cognitive flexibility. Cognitive flexibility. That is the foundation of mental agility.
Mhm.
That is when you have the
Mhm.
ability to adapt and shift your thoughts.
Mhm.
The ability to adapt and shift your thoughts. Now, I have been in occasion times where I needed to adapt and shift my thoughts in order for me to be able to navigate a particular professional experience, logistics, tactics, strategy, something that's happening outside of the business that's impacting the business, something that's inside of the business that's impacting me, that's impacting the team. And so there are times I've had to grow in that area where, Patrick, do you have that ability to adapt and then shift your thought process based upon what's happening at the moment? I'm hoping even in your field, I'm sure you've had to go through situations where you had to say, okay, I have to shift and adapt here. Here's a situation that's new to me. Here's how I normally would respond in principle. But also, I think it's important for me to learn how to adapt and begin to shift my
Mhm.
thought process. Have you experienced that? I know that I have. And I think it's important that we have that skill set, as a first stage of developing mental agility. So when we think about cognitive flexibility, Hope, we're talking about a skill set that we have the ability to adapt and shift your thought process. Has there been a time in your life, as far as career is concerned, or just in general, where you've had to adapt? For instance, you had to adapt to something, but also you had to shift your thought process.
Oh, most definitely. It's
Mhm.
happened um, frequently, through through different journeys and depending on where I am as far as the journey in my life. So absolutely, I mean, it's been times that I've had to shift my mindset and kind of remind myself, okay, this is not the former place. I'm in a new place. So now it's time to embrace new ideas and be more innovative and open, in moving, in the particular thing. So yes, I've had to I do a lot of actually a lot of shifting of thoughts depending on what type of situation that I'm in to be able to adjust so that I can navigate correctly.
Good. Thank you for sharing that. Lisa here says, absolutely needed to be more progressive forward movement. Let's bring up a few more comments. You can go ahead and read this one too.
Of seeing the glass as half full.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. You can go ahead and read the next one with Monique.
Monique, the ability to adapt and shift our thought processes helps us to be open to new ideas and innovation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, folks, we're talking about mental agility. And I want to share this because as a renewal practice, if you and I are going to renew who we are, renew our minds, renew how we lead, renew how we follow, renew how we manage our departments or a functional area, there are times where we're going to have to, first of all, start off with what we call cognitive flexibility. And
Mhm.
so it's important that if we're going to grow and develop in mental agility, it's important to develop the ability to adapt and shift your thought process. On occasion, that's going to have to happen in order for you to be able to grow and expand and be mentally agile. All right. So it's important that we're able to do that. Let's go to number two. Number two. Number two is curious perspective. Curious perspective. Now, we think about curiosity, curious perspective. This is the next step. After we have adapted and we're learning to shift our thought process, then being curious or having a curious perspective means we remain open. So let's write that down. Remain open to new ideas and embracing an inquisitive outlook when you're learning new information. I'll say that again. It is the process of remaining open to new ideas and embracing an inquisitive outlook to learn new information. Inquisitive. You see that a lot when children are playing, don't we?
Mhm.
And they're playing and they're inquisitive and building castles and doing all kind of stuff. Then we get older, and what do? Many times we get stuck. Well, this is how I do it, and I'm staunch, and I'm not going to be open to new and fresh ideas because this is just the way I am. And of
Mhm.
course, we don't want people to change their fundamental personalities or character. We're talking about the renewal practice of mental agility, and first, of course, being cognitive flexibility, but also how to remain open and to new ideas, but also embracing an inquisitive outlook, on something that's new. And I think that's so important that we remain open.
Mhm.
I typed out something the other day where I put down wet cement in the hand of life. So we're pliable. As I'm going home through my doctoral program, there are things that I'm unlearning. I've shared things with you, just in terms of after I go through residency, I try to share immediately with my team things that I'm learning or fresh ideas that are coming and how to test them. And one thing that I've learned was to stay in a place of being curious about something. So, what are your thoughts when we think about, we're going from cognitive flexibility now to this curious perspective? How has being curious in your life helped you when you were curious about something?
Well, curiosity has helped me as far as in the space of creating, in
Mm,
taking the leap and taking the chance to be able to uh, move in further because of my curiosity or a spark of interest or just wanting to know. The one thing about children and curiosity is that there is more freedom. There's not the fear of what if they're just going to explore, and
uh,
sometimes explore kind of spontaneous when more for when we are adults we're kind of more cautious, and sometimes we need that, like, that innocence as a child, to explore, and to see and to experience. And so that is just how, for me, it's that point of me allowing myself to explore the different aspects, opportunities, and things that have been presented before me. So this
yeah,
this gives me opportunity to be able to be curious about things and explore. Mhm.
yeah, that is so important, because in a continually, constantly changing world, taking a curious approach to learning, I think will really help inform us on how to navigate uncertainty. So, tea timers, when you're unsure, and I've been unsure in my project work, and I'm like, oh goodness, how are we going to handle this situation? Or it's something new that comes up. There's that normal response that I have, which helps me stay the course, long term and continue to manage. But then there's also a point of, maybe there's something here. So I think maybe thinking like that. Maybe there's something here that I need to glean. Maybe there's something behind this change. Or if there's, excuse me, if there's an uncertain circumstance, let me step back and say, Patrick, stay curious. Stay curious. Have an open, curious perspective about it because that'll help me navigate the uncertainty. Got a comment coming in. We're going to go ahead and read this one right here.
Investigate what you don't know.
Absolutely. Investigate. Yes, yes, it's important that we do that as well. So again, we want to step back to step in. Stepping back by looking at the uncertainty and saying, you know what? Maybe there's something here. Maybe there's a perspective that I can really grow in because I'm keeping a curious perspective. So I want to just go back really quickly to the renewal practice. The first one we covered again is cognitive flexibility. What is that?
Mhm.
The ability to adapt and shift your thought process. Adapt and shift your thought process. And then secondly, the second step would be curious perspective, remaining open to new ideas and embracing an inquisitive outlook. You know what? That also means that it's okay to not know and then continue to ask questions,
Mhm.
to not know. And, well, you know what? I'm not sure about this. Or, hey, I'm unclear about this. Let me explore this further so that I can know how to
Right.
manage or at least navigate the uncertainty. Well, here's another comment coming here. Hope, go ahead and can you read this one?
Oh, sure. Charlisa says, being curious has helped me to broaden my horizons, to experience something new or unfamiliar, to open a room for understanding or resolving and adapting, and finally to growing to see further.
Absolutely.
That's
Wow.
it.
Yes.
Mhm.
So again, second renewal practice is having a curious perspective, cognitive flexibility, adapt, all right,
Mhm.
and a curious perspective. All right, number three, let's go to the next renewal practice here. Pattern formation.
Mhm.
Let me take a note on this one. I'm learning right now as we talk through this here. Pattern formation. Now, we talked about earlier this definition here, Hope, about connecting the dots
Mhm.
between ideas. When we connect dots between ideas, that's when we develop the formation of patterns. So let's just say, Hope, in your place of business, you're seeing certain situations happen at different sites or different places or different regions, different functional areas or different departments. When you can connect the dots between those areas, you can start noticing patterns that are forming. And pattern
Mhm.
formation is important because what you're doing is you're connecting the dots that may not be obvious to everyone.
Yeah.
That helps you become more mentally agile to be able to take a dot over here and a dot over here, and then bring that into that information into an orderly format. That's how processes are created, or even procedures that are created. Because it's not, we can't think ourselves out of situations. We have to act ourselves out of them. So it's important that we act ourselves into transformation or mental agility, not just think, think, think. There's something that I need to do. And so
Mhm.
there might be times, Hope, where if we're going to be mentally agile, even though we're talking about the agility of the mind, we also want to be able to connect the dots of information. And that way we can see the formation of patterns. And that is a unique process that we want to be able to do. What do you think about that in terms of in work that you're doing when you've noticed, maybe didn't notice it, or when you did notice it? What do you think took place when you begin to embrace that, an ability in your leadership?
Well, pattern formation, for me and what I do is very important, depending on what's going on. So it can be a pattern formation of something that leads to progression, advancement, and innovation, or it could be something that is maybe not so good where it needs to be noticed. And
Mhm.
so those is, where implement change in certain patterns that may lead to a more abrupt or divisive type situation. So I see it from a positive and also another perspective as well as to embrace the patterns that are taking place and notice what's going on. And
Mhm.
so that there takes a time of just sometimes you have to allow yourself to sit and just actually take in what's going on and what's repetitively taking place, whether that be good or whether that be not so good.
Good. Thank you for sharing that. That's so important. And one of the things I want us in this renewal practice to do is think about how we can connect dots in the work that we're in, whether it's in looking at people, whether it's observable behavior, whether it's decisions that are being made, actions that are happening in the workplace. This is so important, beyond just the content knowledge that we have, that we're able to help people create patterns in ways that maybe we're not seeing. And I think that's important because once we understand the process of something, Hope, then what ends up happening is we can duplicate that elsewhere, and
Mhm.
create more efficiency and effectiveness in the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's important to be able to do that from a mentally agile perspective. And again, T timers, when we think about mental agility, I want you to notice here, we talked about connecting the dots. So we view situations,
Mhm.
that's my perception, absorb information, again, cognitive flexibility, connecting the dots between ideas. How am I connecting the dots between ideas? Even if there's something I necessarily don't agree with, or there's something that's so new and so novel and so innovative that I'm having a difficult time absorbing it. If I'm
Mhm.
able to connect those dots, then perhaps what I'm doing at that point is I'm creating a space for me to grow, in pattern formation. So this is important in business. This is important in growing your brand. This is important in learning a new skill. All right. This is important, Tea Timers. If you're going to grow your business, you're going to grow yourself. You're going to grow and navigate uncertainty, especially with the pace of change that takes place in our world. Being able to connect the dots and think like that quickly and synthesize that is a very critical skill to have in order for us to be able to grow and expand. And so one thing about the Renewal Center, one of our vision areas is renewing minds and reforming culture. And the way that we reform culture many times is in how we're mentally agile and what we're doing. So I think this is a very good renewal practice. At least I hope this is helpful to everyone to just really consider the importance of how you view situations and how you absorb information when it's right there in front of you. Because you might have people who, and hope you may have experiences where two people hear the same thing, but they apply it in different ways.
Yeah.
Hear the same information, but don't connect the dots. They can't create a pattern. They have the ability to do so. They're just not doing it. And so it's important that we coach ourselves or develop ourselves to do that. So I think this is important. We've got a couple of comments coming in. Go ahead, if you'd like to go ahead and read these, go ahead.
Sure. Charlisa says, that's good. Can't think ourselves out of situations. Must act or do.
Thank you. Next one here.
Camilla said, great concepts and model for skill building.
Yes. That's it. We want to be able to connect the dots in order for us to. So I think that's important, folks. If we're going to do an exercise before we finish today, I know we're coming up on time already, goodness, where I have a slide for that. So let me hurry up and move on. I think I'm talking a little too much. So let me go to the fourth one, which is novel problem solving. Novel problem solving. And what that is when you create innovative outputs based upon new procedures and processes. So if there's something that comes as new, and then we create new procedures on top of that. So hope, for instance, there's a challenge that you're experiencing in your place of business. It's uncertain, it's new. Then it would mean, I would ask the question, if you hope, what are you doing that's a new procedure or a new process to overcome it? That's novel problem solving. In other words, I'm not looking at another problem in the same way. I'm looking at a new problem in a new way. A new problem in a new way, and I'm looking at new procedures and new processes to overcome that challenge. What that does is you examine, everybody write this down, new examination or a new way to tackle challenges. So it's a new examination of a new problem. Something comes up and I examine it differently than I have before. When I examine it differently than what I've had before, what ends up happening is I now have found a new way to tackle that particular challenge than I have before. Otherwise, we end up getting stuck. We stay stuck because we're not looking at the problem in a way that's new in terms of how we're examining something. Does that make sense to you, what I'm sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to really hone in on that because, again, this is about mental agility. So this is going to grow everybody if we apply this and really do some intensive work on how we're thinking and why we're thinking that way. And the last renewal practice from this particular stage is, again, novel problem solving. And that is examining a problem in a new way and then coming up with new ways to tackle them, a new procedure or a new process to overcome a challenge. Do you have any thoughts on that, Hope, or any ideas, any feedback for that?
No, actually I don't. I'm just taking everything in and writing things down, as well as what you shared regarding that. So I'm actually learning and just soaking up everything.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Good. So again, this is our final stage of mental agility. All right, we have this, and again, and I so look forward to sharing this again. I might even revisit this the first Tuesday in February, so we'll see. But I wanted us to really think through and really work this out as far as mental agility is concerned. So let me share something else with you. And these are 4 A's, and then we're going to do an exercise. So everybody write this down. Awareness, adapt, and adopt. And then action, advance, and assess. All right, so awareness. One thing we always say, and hope you always remind us many times here on Tea Time, awareness is what? Power. Yes. Something you say that often. We share that a lot here on Tea Time, and I think we need to constantly remind ourselves awareness is power, and the importance of that. So first A is awareness. Do you know your blind spots and your bright spots? Not just the places that you can't see, but do you also have an ability to see your bright spots? I'm gonna bring up a comment. Hope if you want to share this as well. Go right ahead.
All right. Examining problems in a new way helps you to develop new ways to address the issues in a more constructive way or method.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. So again, let's go back one more time to that. In your next meetings, folks, if in your place of business, a challenge or a problem comes up, Hope, Tea Timers, then that means, let me examine this differently. Let me examine this in a way that I haven't examined it before. I have a certain way that I respond. But then there's also, if I'm going to grow, perhaps it means I need to step back and examine the problem differently. And then perhaps that way we might come up with a new process or a new procedure that makes us more efficient and more effective. So I want us to think about that in your next staff meeting, team meeting, or if something comes up between now and the next tea time, all right? Or something that just recently happened in your role, like, oh, here it is again, then maybe it means I need to deal with this differently through new lens. Maybe I need to have a new way of examining this, because there have been times I probably could have responded in a newer way because the problem is new, and then I can grow as a result of it. So again, let's look at this from an awareness perspective. I hope everyone, this is helpful to you today. That's a renewal practice. So do you know, ask yourself, do you know your blind spots and your bright spots? We have areas that are working well that sometimes we don't leverage. Then we adapt. Do you know what needs to change? Then we adopt. What will you do differently? And what's the process? Because process is what's going to make it effective. Process is what's going to make it effective. And then once you go through awareness and you adapt and you adopt what you've adapted to, which is a new process, right? Then you can act. Then you can advance. What is working? What are the results? I think we need to really meditate on that. Any ideas? Meditating over there too? Rethinking? Okay. Good. Now, the last renewal practice I'd like to do as relates to mental agility, it's just a quick exercise that I would encourage you to do on your own when you're facing transformation in your work, all right? Or anything that you want to find a flow, find your groove or your sweet spot. How do we do that? Well, this is how you identify a flow. I just like to use the word flow because it just sounds nice. How do we identify a flow that we can move in? So hope on the left side, I want you to think about activities that create a flow for you. Then on the right side, you write down what I enjoy about that activity. For instance, you're in your job, you're facing something this week in your job, you're facing something recently. And my question would be, how do you create a flow? That means you'll find a space where this is an activity in my work that creates a flow for me in what I'm facing. It creates a flow. And then what do I enjoy about that activity? The reason why we do that is so we can duplicate that. It is important to know when our energy is on, when our energy is high, when our energy is low. But it's important that we create a flow. So I hope I'm going to ask you a question. It's a coaching question. When you're facing a challenge in work, what have you done? Like, when did you find yourself with a renewed energy? What did you do when you found yourself in a renewed energy that it created a flow for you? Can you name maybe an activity that you did that created a flow for you?
Well, the activity I've done is uh, I listen to music.
Okay. So let's pause here. You listen to music.
Hmm.
You created a flow. You listen to music. What happened? What did you like about that moment when you listened to music during
Well,
that time?
with music, it changes the mood of my energy to the mood, and so I listen to something like more upbeat, something positive, and I'll also as well. I'll because I'm what you would call I like to look at things, so I would kind of like look at the fireplaces or different things like the YouTube fireplace whole scenery type thing, and hear the crackling, the noise, and I can hear that in my listening in my ears. So a lot of it is hearing and what I'm seeing at the moment. So that is what I usually do. Usually keep um, some types of music around. I have all types of playlists and that I'm able to go to, and I have my Alexa, and I'll tell it, "Hey, play this or do that." And what happens is my mood changes and switches in the particular environment of
Good.
what's going on or what I've had to deal with. Sometimes taking a walk as well. Hmm.
Good. So you've got the music time and you've got the walk time. So the next challenge that hope you have in your business or whatever it is, then you go to that playlist and then you start creating.
Hmm.
And then you begin to ask these mental agility questions.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? So in other
Yes.
words, or I'm going to take a walk.
Hmm.
All right. And so, are you creating that music? You got that space. Then you go back to these stages. How am I flexible? Am I being curious? You start talking to yourself about this whole, okay, this is a new problem. I'm curious. Let me look at this from a different lens. Let me examine this differently.
Hmm.
So and the reason why you create that flow is so that you can build more of those into your week.
Yes.
Hmm. So if you know you have a meeting that's coming up, you know it's going to be a challenge. Hope needs to listen to music before she goes into that meeting. You create a flow for you. You create a flow. You create, or you know what? I'm going to go 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go through these particular stages and I'm going to think, okay, how am I going to be curious? Let me keep an open mind. Let me try to connect the dots in this next meeting. Let me look at this in a new way with a new lens. You see what I'm doing?
Hmm.
Is what I'm doing is I'm doing transformative acts while I create my flow. Wow. While I create my flow. So I'd be interested in finding out the next challenge you may meet in business or a new problem that comes that hope you just put that music on or you go for that walk and then you go through these questions. You go through these stages. You start thinking about, okay, do I know what my blind spot is in this or what's my bright spot? How can I connect the dots with what I'm seeing here? Am I
Yeah.
looking at what needs to change and really think through that? Because what happens out of that flow, more creativity comes, more innovation comes. You see more procedures or there are new processes that emerge in this practice. I'm going to ask everyone that's out there, tea timers, what is your flow? Think about the flow, an activity that creates a flow for you. Write down what you enjoy about those activities. And the reason why I'm asking you to write it down so that you can duplicate that or implement that more into your week.
Yeah.
That might mean, in your calendar and Outlook, each day at 2, that's your music time, that's your creative flow time, or maybe 10 o'clock after those first few meetings in the morning. I'm going to go for a walk real quick. I know it's tradition for me to take this walk because I need to rethink, I need to reframe. You see, tea time is what we're doing today. This is the renewal practice of how to enhance our mental agility How can I build more of these challenges into my week?
Mhm.
So let's pause here for a moment and really rethink this. Again, the ability to view situations, absorb information, connect the dots, use all the information that's available, you've assimilated to respond around you in what? New and innovative ways. I'm going to examine it differently. I'm going to do that. I did it today. All right. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I did it during residency. I had to step back and say, okay, where did I drop the ball in terms of how I manage my schedule? First of all, I had to acknowledge it. I'm aware. Okay, fine. Now that I'm aware and I've acknowledged it, what's my next step? There's some things I'm saying yes to that I need to say no to. How am I looking at this? I'm looking at my pace. I'm looking at my load. So those are important things that we need to do in order for us to really build stronger mental agility. So I know we got a few minutes left, but I'd like to hear from everyone out there, our tea timers. What are some of your takeaways? What's new? What's novel? What have you learned? What are you going to implement from our renewal practices today on mental agility? Hope, what thoughts do you have, or ideas, or takeaways, or any response or feedback you'd like to share?
Just, I think the awareness of mental agility and how important it is to our everyday functions in life. This is just for me, my takeaway is just always just keeping that in mind, always
Mm-hmm.
being open for new perspectives and willing to expand and change. And the part about the curiosity, that part as well. So that is, my feedback of what I received today and my notes. So I have a little journaling to do to write about a couple of things that I want to expound on from this today's tea time. So this has been a great tea time. Just want to thank you for the concept subject matter this evening. I think it's great and it's useful for all of us as well. So this has been a great tea time.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. We got some comments that are coming in. Let's go ahead and read some of these. Music and mindfulness create a flow for me. I'm going to share this one.
This is an excellent renewal practice. I use quiet meditation as a flow before meetings with my team. This process helps me to consider new ideas and strategies in my work.
All right. Thank you. This one says mental agility sounds like being a detective in a mystery novel, figuring out unexpected puzzles with a mix of creativity and a dash of unpredictability, crafting solutions that break away from the usual script. Thank you for sharing. Want to read the next?
Changing environments help me. Getting outside and listening to music helps me.
All right. So outside, somebody else that walks and goes
Mhm.
outside and listens to music as well. So again, I want everyone to be deliberately intentional about your mental agility. Create that flow. In Hope's situation, she listens to music. She has a playlist. She's deliberate about it, but also she takes a walk. So whatever you have to face tomorrow, the day after, and it's not just about a negative issue as much as it is, here's a new challenge, here's a new problem, here's something new, here's how I plan on navigating that uncertainty by doing this. And that helps us establish a stronger development of mental agility. So we'd love to hear from you. I want to thank everybody for just connecting and sharing your perspectives. Hope, thank you so much for your input and insights and experience today. And we'd love to hear from everyone out there. What are some of your takeaways? I'm going to just share one last thing with us before we create our announcements. I would like to share with you, we are currently in our giving initiative. What does that mean? Well, here at the Renewal Center, we are a nonprofit organization here in North Carolina with things like Tea Time Tuesday, our actual center where we have a thought room and an art room and a voice room. And we specifically here at Tea Time and at the Renewal Center, 159 Church Street Northeast in Concord, North Carolina, we're all about hospitality. And so we have an incredible creative space, complimentary Wi-Fi, a cafe. You can grab a cup of coffee and tea on us and really create and activate yourself and reset yourself and reset and pause and build your resilience in the Renewal Center as well. And so we want to encourage you to stop through Tuesday through Friday. Come connect with us. We have a thought room also where you can read and experience a contemplative type of environment and study and refreshing and renewing yourself. And so we'd like you to consider supporting the Renewal Center with a donation as well. So I want to bring it up on your screen. We're in our winter initiative right now. These are the ways that you can give and support the Renewal Center. Here's our website at www.therenewalcenters.com/give. You can text to give. We want to encourage you also download our mobile app. You can stay connected to all of our digital content, audio, video, our announcements, notifications, our blog team as well. We have a new featured blog that just came out last week. You can go to our website and support that. We also have PayPal and Zelle, and our Cash App is Cash Renewal Center, Venmo at Renewal Center, or you can mail a check or money order to the Renewal Center. And so I just want to encourage you, please connect with us and support our giving initiative for the winter. Again, here are ways you can support it. Download the mobile app. If you go to to your mobile store, just type in the Renewal Center, and you should see our logo pop up. And you can also give and support the Renewal Center through the digital giving that's actually in the mobile app as well. And that's an incredible mobile app. Matter of fact, Hope manages our mobile app for us and ensures that we have everything that we need for you to stay connected to us in a digital context. And so we want to encourage you to connect with us. And these are the ways of giving. So Hope, I'm going to bring up a few more announcements that if you want to maybe emphasize those.
Oh, right. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, here's the first one.
All right, this Saturday, okay, the creatives meet up. This Saturday is going to be at the Renewal Center. You can contact us through via email or phone number. I want you to come on out this upcoming Saturday, I think between 12 and 2 for our creatives meetup. This is an opportunity. If you're creative, you have a product, earrings, jewelry, anything that you've created, this is a great opportunity for you to be able to come out and network with other people who create. This is a wonderful opportunity to just talk and network as well. If you just want to come on up to the Renewal Center and just see what it's all about, we ask you to join us for this time of Creatives Meetup. Looking forward to it. Oh, we'd like you to save the date for our stress management webinar on Friday, February 23rd, between 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Save the date. This is going to be held virtually. You please invite people to come. This is a way that we can, again, we're building and having resilience by having the stress management webinar Friday, February 23rd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. This is going to be held virtually. So look forward to more information as it is being released, but save the date for this program.
Absolutely. Okay, I want to also share another save the date. We are sponsoring our 5th prophetic gathering. Excited about that. This is that time of year. We've been focusing on a decade of declaration and demonstration, 2020 to 29. What's the difference here? We're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia this year. We will not be in the Concord, Charlotte area. It will be hybrid. We will have an option for that. We would love to see you on site. So please go ahead right now. Save the date, April 12th and 13th. That's a Friday and a Saturday. We're confirming all of our speakers. We're going to be releasing content for registration here very soon. So please stay tuned to the RC so you can connect with us for our 5th prophetic gathering. Save the date, April 12th through the 13th, 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia. More information, please ensure that you download our mobile app and connect with us. And so Hope, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the announcements for us. And then if you'd like to speak to those, just a moment here. There you go.
All right, so this, of course, is our tea time. We have tea time every first, second, and third Tuesdays at 12 p.m. And right now, this is our 4th Tuesdays. We have it at 7 p.m. Join us for the New Year Digital Discipleship at 10 a.m. on Sundays. You can go to our social media page to register. This is held via Zoom as well. We have a Reforming Culture, which is tomorrow. Join us as we understand the mind of Christ. It's at 7:30 p.m. We ask for you to join us. We have a reformative prayer this month. It's held every fifth Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Join us for a time of prayer this month as well for our fifth Wednesday. If you know someone that's dealing with the grief recovery, we have that as well. You can contact the Renewal Center for more information. All right, and make sure that you download the app to stay up to date. Information and all our content and all the things that we have available to you right at your fingertips with the mobile app. Then we have the Women at the Well Bible series. This is held once every month. It's held the first Saturday of every month by virtual and on site at the Renewal Center. And we invite you again to be able to give to the Renewal Center through our various digital platforms here that you are able to give. We ask that you go ahead and connect with the vision and mission of the Renewal Center as we continue to expand and enlarge, not only in the Concord area, but beyond. All right. So we thank you all for connecting to the Renewal Center through giving.
All right. Thank you so much, Hope. And again, I want to thank everyone. There's some comments we'll show here. We're going to do one last renewal practice before we close out this evening, and then we'll be finished for today. And again, we look forward to seeing you our next time on Tea Time. And as we say, I am Renewal. Take care of each other. Thank you so much for connecting with us. And let's go ahead and just locate ourselves to let this knowledge, this insight really refresh us and renew us. And then we'll be finished. Have a very good evening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.